Good day everyone, I'm Fernando Manuel. We will be presenting a study of South Korea, the background of the country, geography, cultural history, distinct customs and traditions, and our insights of South Korea, together with my group mates, Vicky Balico, Nathaniel Albano, and John Kyle Ravel. For the first introduction of South Korea background of the country will be discussed on me. The background of the country of South Korea. The Korean Peninsula extends southward from the northeastern part of Asian continent. The country has a long history and proud tradition. Buddhism and Confucianism have influenced the nation's society and culture. Koreans, like many other Asian people, are descendants of the Mongolian Tonghos stock. They differ from the neighboring Japanese and Chinese. However, in that Koreans are homogeneous ethnic group with their own language, culture, and custom. South Korea has evolved from agrarian society to a global industrial leader. Over the previous several decades, education, research, and technology, and social welfare are all improving. The FIFA World Cup was co-hosted by Korea in 2002. After World War II, a republic was established at southern half of the Korean Peninsula, while communist-style government was established in the northern half. During the Korean War, US and other UN forces intervened to defend South Korea against North Korea advances backed by Chinese forces. In the year 1953, an armistice was struck dividing the peninsula in the militarized zone roughly aligned to the 38th parallel. South Korea economics grew rapidly after that, with per capita income reaching 13 times of the North Korea. In the year 1997, the nation suffered a severe financial crisis from which it continues to make a solid recovery. South Korea also maintained its commitment to democratize its political process. In the year 2000 of June, a historic first South and North summit took place between the South, then President Kim Dae-jung, and the North of leader Kim Jong II in the December 2000. President Kim Dae-jung won the Nobel Peace Prize for his lifelong commitment to democracy and human rights in Asia. He was the first Korean to win a Nobel Prize.
Our geography of South Korea. South Korea makes up the bottom half of Korean Peninsula in East Asia, between located the Yellow Sea, the Gyeonggi Bay, the Jeju and the Korea Strait of Japan, Tsushima Island, and distinguish, be careful what you call it. The Chinese and Koreans call in the sea, whereas the Japanese and other might call it the Sea of Japan. The country is divided in 8 provinces, 6 metropolitan cities that act as their own entity, a special self-governing province, Jeju-do Island, and the capital Seoul that has the title of a special city, acting as its own entity as well. This word thing, Jejong, and a special autonomous city. South Korea has 2 capitals, there are only 8 provinces with Jeju-do and Seoul as the capital. South Korea owns and administers over 3,500 islands of its coast, the largest one being Jeju-do, which is kind of like the Hawaii of Korea. Our cultural history. The Korean culture is vibrant in color and steeped in history. Temples of palaces such as the Gyeongbok Palace and traditional dresses like the formal hanbok showcase ancient traditions which you can see at the National Museum of Korea in Seoul. Chandeokgung Palace is also a great place to see the architectural heritage of Korea. In Asia, K-pop or Korean pop has also become extremely popular, known for their dynamically choreographed dance routines and beautiful stars. K-pop groups have obtained serious celebrity status. Seoul is a great place to buy CDs, DVDs, and goods from groups like Kara, Super Junior, and Shinee. Korea television series have also become well known around the world, which are dubbed into various languages and broadcast around the globe. Whether soap opera or historical drama, these stories showcase life in Korea. Koreans also believe in sincerity and loyalty, and follow certain codes of conduct while meeting, eating, praying, and even celebrating. At times when many other cultures would shake hands, Koreans bow. They bow as a sign of gratitude and respect to the person they are meeting.
The distinct customs and traditions of South Korea. Culture. Basic greetings in Korean cultures are done with a bow. Bows are reserved as greetings of respect for one's senior. The lower and longer you bow, the more respect is being shown. Close friends rarely bow to each other, but if they are on public occasions, it is polite to bow to each other too, no matter how close you are. In bowing, posture is also essential. Bowing should occur from the waist and not the neck. You can often see these bows in different Korean movies and series. But if you have not seen one, here are the different bows in Korean culture that you need to learn. Casual bow. This bow is used to greet someone close to you or have similar rank, colleagues or friends. People use to this bow in places where you can do deeper bows, such as crowded place, elevators, and public transportations. This bow is also applicable when greeting a senior when you see him and her several times that day. Respectful bow. The respectful bow is the most common bow used in greetings on almost everybody. Remember, a bow should start from the waist, not the neck. Belly button bow. The name of this bow comes from the fact that the hands are clamped together and placed is in a naval position. Belly button bow is commonly used by people in uniform, such as flight attendants and salespeople. It bows. This type of bow is reserved for special occasions like weddings, holidays, funerals, and center right to leading elders after a long time of absence. And last but not the least, showing extreme gratitude or remorse. If you are fan of any K-pop group, you might be seeing them doing big bows for their fans. This bow includes a man bending fully down on their knees with hands on the ground and women to slightly sitting down, legs together and hands near their chest. 90 degrees bow. This is called a 90 degrees bow because your back is literally bent at 90 degrees. It is a form of respect and it is also an international showing of obedience and service. Handshake. Korean culture also uses handshake in greetings beside bows. Remember not to grip hands very tightly because Koreans do not like it so. A soft grab of the hand will do. Another interesting about Korean handshake is that they use both hands when shaking hands. The other hand is used to support your forearms while shaking hands. Women do not offer to shake hands first to men, especially if they are Western men. However, Western women might offer their hands to Korean men.
The 5 traditions of South Koreans. First, chestnut throwing and piggyback rides. Remember, watching Koreans getting married in traditional style, wearing hanbok in K-dramas, but we don't know what happens afterward. Well, there are many traditional costumes followed in a real event. One of these is payback, a family gathering that immediately follows the wedding reception. The bride and groom perform a deep bow to their parents afterwards. Family members throw chestnuts at the bride, who must attempt to catch them in her hanbok. The number of chestnuts she catches is correlated with the number of children that the couple will have. Second, handpicking one's own destiny. A baby first birthday or dal is an important event in Korea. The event is a fortune-telling ritual called Daljabi, where the 1-year-old child is placed in front of several objects such as books, brushes, and piggy banks, etc. The child is then motivated to choose an object from the table. This object is believed will predict the child's future. So, if the baby selects it, will money depicts wealth, while a book will confirm he or she will be smart and a great scholar. Third, Taffy makes the answers stick. Taking the Sanyong, the standardized university entrance exam, is one of the most stressful tasks of a Korean's entire life. Before the test, students will often receive good luck packages from friends and family to boost their morale. Included among these gifts sets is yacht, a traditional taffy like Korean candy. Because it is sticky, superstition says the yacht helps the test material stick in their minds. Conversely, soft and smooth seaweed soup is avoided as it could make the answers slip away. The couple craze. In Korea, Valentine's Day is not the catch-all holiday. It is in the rest of the world. Only women give chocolate as a sign of affection. But we're not talking any regular plain chocolate. Korean ladies that are truly dedicated to their significant other wouldn't dream of handing over any treat that wasn't handmade. As a result, girls across the country are pros at tempering and molding layers of chocolate into adorable, intricate characters and designs with personal messages iced on top. Soap that makes you a year older. It is well aware all over the world that the age, in case Korean culture, when a baby borns, he or she is already 1 year old. But do you know? Koreans celebrate their birthday twice in a year. Koreans usually have 2 birthdays. First, their Korean birthday, which is celebrated on the Lunar New Year, that is Seollal, and their actual birthday. Koreans start the morning of Seollal with a bowl of joguk, a tasty soup gathering all family members and everyone turns a year older together.
Our insight of South Korea is to become one of the world's wealthiest economies. The country is by no means a paradise. Nonetheless, according to what we have heard from South Korea, the country has poverty issues not seen in other developed countries. Neighboring Japan seems to be more wealthy, not not to mention the many social issues in South Korea. But it's a fascinating story of not only bouncing back from setbacks, but using these setbacks to launch high into the sky of success. We understand Korean culture mostly out of respect by showing in above, because they show us that size of doesn't matter. In reality, Koreans care about very little things. They are brave, united in their own sense, and they won't take shit from anybody. Still, they have managed to not only power, they are looking upwards with the best tool they have at their disposition, soft power. They're showing the world their culture, and they do it in such a prepared and clever way, it working like a charm. That's all the end of our presentation. Thank you.